Market manipulation in Magic the Gathering? How does it work? Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. I hope you enjoyed this content today. And of course, for all my regular viewers out there, welcome back everyone. We're going to have a great time discussing market manipulation inside Magic the Gathering. How it happens, where it works, and in what circumstances it works. Because it doesn't just work everywhere. It's got to be under very ideal situations for those who are trying to manipulate that market. So let's get to it. Here is Wikipedia's definition of market manipulation. Market manipulation is a type of market abuse where there is a deliberate attempt to interfere with the free and fair operation of the market. The most blatant of cases involve creating false or misleading appearances with respect to the price of or market for a product, security, or commodity. So now that I've showed you a definition of market manipulation as brought to you by the wonderful people at Wikipedia, I would like to show you something else. This is Library of Alexandria. It is from Arabian Nights, the very first expansion released by Wizards of the Coast in December of 1993. The Library of Alexandria is a reserve list card. And with the old sets in Magic's history, we actually know the print run of these sets. So there's a finite amount of these cards, which make it a perfect object to be market manipulated in Magic the Gathering inside this collectible card game. So if you take a look here, you can see there was 31,000 copies made. Now for this argument, I'm going to say 1,000 copies have been destroyed, lost, or they're never coming back to market. They've been lost in somebody's attic and they're just gone. So that leaves us with a mere 30,000 copies of this card in the entire world. So let's take a look at something here. If we know nowadays, 2021, this card can command as much as $7,000 on the open market, like a platform like eBay, okay? It could be as low as $2,500, $2,000, depending on the condition of that card. It could be heavily played, damaged, whatever. It could be really low. But if you look back in 2017, this card was only $500. Well, in 2012, it was only $150. 2009, it was $150. And 2007, it was $150. Now, the reason it only goes back to 2007 is that's when I started recording prices for cards that I bought. So that's when I first came back to Magic. I started putting Excel spreadsheets together that had the prices on them so I would know how much I paid. So that means I paid $150. Okay? And the other years I checked it, it was $150 at the time. So now we see it's commanding as much. Now we're talking 14 years. It has been a bit of time for this card to accumulate in value. But here's the funny thing. If somebody wants to manipulate this particular card, and we know there are 30,000 in existence, and say this person starts 10 to 12 years ago, not nowadays, they would have started earlier. Because if they're trying to control the market now, well, the card's up to $7,000. That's too expensive to control it now. They've got to buy it when it was cheap, and they had to know that there was the potential for this card to be manipulated. So if they know there's only 30,000 copies, they know they can have a spin on that particular market, and they can make a lot of money. Because if you want to buy this card out, if you wanted to buy it up on old platforms like eBay back in the day, 2008, 2009, local card stores, and you could travel around a bit and spread your feelers out and get some friends looking for you at $150, you only need about $4.5 million to buy every single copy in the world back then. But as this card rose, it would cost a little bit more money, but you don't mind because you're building up your available credit and how much you control of this piece of the market. And after you get this market to a certain level, after you've bought enough copies that it forces that price to rise, when you get it to that high level, then you can sit and you can enjoy and say, okay, I've spent money, but I'm letting my investment grow. Because now other people naturally are still going to buy this card. They're like, wow, this card's really gone up in value. Now, a lot of this can happen unintentionally from other players. Because now, let's just say the person only bought 15,000 copies, 10,000 copies over this period of time of 4, 5, 6 years. From 2007 all the way up to like 2017, they were buying copies of this card and slowly forcing this price to rise. Other people are naturally buying it. They're becoming aware of the card. It was a fun card to play. Other people start going back and just nostalgically buying cards like I did and saying, I used to play with that as a teenager. I want to have it again. So I buy a copy. And then maybe I buy another copy and you can see it just naturally starts going up as well. but that baseline is missing. That base of 15,000 copies, 10,000 copies, even 5,000 copies is missing from the market because one person or a small group of people have controlled that amount of cards. And if they control that amount, they can force the price to go up because the rest of us are still buying it. It forces it up. We had a joke on this channel, before I continue here, guys. We had a joke where there was Soldevi excavations and it was like $5. And during the buyout, a lot of people on my channel came along. A lot of us bought it. That card's at $30 and I'm a channel with 5,000 people on it. Buying a couple of copies here and there is all we did. Because it's reserve list, I said, hey, it's a pretty good card. It can go up. So even that is a form of market manipulation I did as a joke that still shows the fact that if you buy it, the price goes up. So imagine if somebody actually wants to do it on purpose and purposely tries to force a card up. Wouldn't take very much, would it? And then if they want to make some money back, if they were buying them at $150 around this time period, and now it's up here, if they drip one onto the market and they get $5,000 for it, it just paid for 50 copies of the old one, roughly. You see where I'm going with this? They can slowly drip it out, and now they've manipulated that market, and it is always going to stay high. Because even when the cards drip out, everyone knows it should be at least that price or higher. It's very funny how it can work, and it works really well with low count copies of old reserve list cards. Okay? It works with the Moxes, the alphas, the betas, the really low print run stuff. Somebody can control that. It doesn't take that much. And there are a lot of people who've made even more money in Magic. And if you make more money, you can actually blend this out to buy more cards, forcing prices higher. I'm not saying it's happening everywhere, but it would be very easy for it to happen. Really easy. And that's the part that kind of scares me. Is that if I did it as a joke on a little tiny channel, imagine if people or a group of people wanted to do it on purpose. And they wanted to control a market that is not controlled because Magic's just a game. It's a free enterprise. You can buy in, it's open market. You can do what you want. I can sell my copies for 50 cents if I feel like it. Nobody can say no. You don't have to buy it. You can skip it. But if you're a person who wants to get a copy of that card, this could be very intimidating when you see what I've shown you today. Now, when we're talking about particular graded companies, say we're talking, BGS, maybe PSA. In this case, we get population reports, we get information. Now, I saw that great video, and that was by Carl Josp. It was an amazing video, talking about how WADA and all those amazing shadiness that was going on, and the information he showed us was really scary. And it made me think about how it would apply to Magic. But these companies do appear to be third party. They don't seem to affect anything. We just get some great cards and that's it. They're graded. Now, I still believe I have friends I know who have cracked open cases when they think they don't get a good grade and they send it back, trying to get a better grade. They don't care. They want, oh man, there's no way these corners were 8.5 because, the centering's 10, the surface is 10, the edges are 9.5, but the corners were 8.5? No way, bro. And they crack it and send it back. Hoping for that better grade. Hoping for that 9.5. I get it. That can still happen. Because a grader can just have a bad day. This person doesn't deserve higher, it's an 8.5. And you can only imagine, a grader is sitting there all day, grading cards over and over, doing measurements, checking things out. It's got to become almost robotic in some ways when you're seeing particular cards over and over. I'm sure they have people who just cover the sports cards, people who just do Magic cards, Pokemon. I'm sure they do. Specialists in that particular area. So they see the same cards over and over. They go, oh man, no, it's an 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5. They know because they've seen enough time, so it can feel robotic, and they can make mistakes. Just like you're doing a test at a class when it's a conversation piece, not an actual right or wrong answer, but an opinion. When you grade cards, that's the problem, is it's an opinion. It is that person's opinion. I don't have to agree with that opinion. And that's why people crack them and send them back. Or some people don't care about graded cards. Because they say, this is just another third-party person's opinion of your particular cards. And I can understand that. I can respect that. It's very funny. So I'm not really worried about that aspect of it. But when I start thinking about old school cards, where we know the print runs, that means any card from back in the day that we know a print run for could be manipulated with enough people or with somebody with enough wealth to decide to manipulate it and just gobble them all up. It happens all the time. There's lots of people I know who buy 10 copies of this, 15 copies of this. But that's why you don't really hear about it in Magic the Gathering and any new sets. Because there are too many copies made nowadays to really control those markets. It is too massive to even attempt. Think about me who has thousands of Mox Ambers. I probably did cause the price to go up a bit, but not like I could back then if I controlled the card that only had 30,000 copies. Me owning a couple of thousand copies would be insane. Right? So think about that when you're buying a card. Think about when you're deciding on which card you want to invest in or buy into. There are always opportunities for people to twist the rules, manipulate this game into something profitable for them. But if you just want to enjoy the game and you don't care about that, then don't worry about it. Because if the bubble bursts, you wouldn't care anyway. You're just going to play the game. But somebody who doesn't play this game and doesn't enjoy it and only invests, they could have a lot to lose if they don't enjoy the cards themselves. Which is why never buy a card that you're not willing to have it go to zero. Because this, it probably has happened. It probably is happening right now. And it will probably continue into the future. So unless you don't care about these cards at all for any of the old stuff, you just want to skip it, that's fine. But for those of us who want to get it, we probably will be paying a higher dollar than if those copies were made available across the world. But that's what happens. In this kind of market where it's all freewheeling, we don't really have that kind of control because we don't have that kind of money backing us. Now, the last thing I want to mention today is when we talk about sealed boxes. Old sealed boxes can be manipulated as well because the print runs were smaller. So if somebody goes out and buys boxes at $120 back then, and they kept hoarding them, and as it went out of print, because it was smaller print runs back then, they kept buying them because they just knew it would go up in value. They can control that market because they're the ones who control most of the stock of that particular market. And that's what happens for sealed boxes. They can kind of disappear over time. Some get open, some disappear naturally. So the person who holds out the longest forces that market of those particular boxes to go up because they're controlling the mass majority. And as the one or two people out there who had boxes sell them off because they see the price rise, the last one standing is the person who has most of it and had it all along and can force that price and then sell them at the price they see fit to drip in a very large profit. I don't have a problem with that one either because that's just the way it happens. I understood that a long time ago because some people just bought earlier and got in at the ground level and have controlled it ever since. It's just the way this game seems to be played when you start talking about sealed investing of Magic the Gathering products. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Spread it around to your friends. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious, and I'd love to see your comments in the comment section, everyone. And again, if you're new to the channel, thanks a lot. And of course, to the video that Carl put out, thank you so much. I'll be adding his link to his video in the bottom part here because it was truly amazing to watch, guys. It was an hour long, and it was epic. I loved every minute of it. And thank you to Matt on my channel for sharing that information with me. It really taught me a lot, Matt. Guys, have a great day today. MTG Moxman. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hey guys, big shout out to all my patrons out there. You guys rock, and patrons make this world go round. So thank you again to all my supportive patrons on the channel. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot to me. Have a great day today, everyone. Well, here we are again. Welcome back. How's it going? Now, this will be happening on Monday when you guys see this video. And, of course, the live stream comes up on Sunday, which is now, by the way. It's going to come up in a few minutes, which is pretty epic, so I got to set up for it. But I just had to finish this film, get things ready for tomorrow, because it took a little bit of research to find out how this would all work. And then, of course, we're going to jump right into the live stream. I can't wait to see you guys there. Oh, wait, this is time traveling. I would have already seen you there. We're going back in time, back to the future. Where's Doc Brown, man? Where's the DeLorean? Bring it up. I hope they never remake that movie. That movie's good. It kind of stands its way, right? It doesn't need any help. Yeah. Random thoughts on a random Sunday. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you guys this week. Cheers. Oh, wait. Something for the 10K box. We got to put something for the 10K box. How about a revised Library of Lang? How does that sound? Boom! Now you saw it go in. Now you're hooked up. Library of Lang revised.